Hey everybody, Keith McGinnis here with KCDC Designs out of Eagle, Nebraska. Let's apply some Ultimate Top Coat. Okay, so this project is going to get the Ultimate Top Coat Gloss. I have already sanded the surface with 220. I've wiped it down with paper towels, and I also wiped it down with isopropyl alcohol. And then the last step is my homemade lint roller, if you haven't seen me use this before. And this, I go over the surface one last time before I apply the Ultimate Top Coat to pick up any little bit of dust nubs every single time. I come up, and I don't know if you can see it on the blue tape, but there are little white specks on there. And if I wouldn't have pulled those up with my homemade lint roller, they would still be on the surface, and you would be able to feel those after the Ultimate Top Coat has dried. So this piece is now prepped, this piece is now ready. I have 15 square feet, and I take that 15 square feet using the RK3 Designs UTC formula, and I take 15 square feet times 0.275. That brings me up to about 4 to 4.5 ounces of Ultimate Top Coat. And so I'm going to go with 4.5 ounces of Ultimate Top Coat, and then I'm going to add to that, as far as the amount of water, 50%. So I'm going to have 4.5 ounces of Ultimate Top Coat Gloss, 2.25 ounces of water. That's going to give me a total of 6.75 ounces of Ultimate Top Coat. I'm going to get my Ultimate Top Coat mixed up, we'll get it applied, and we'll be ready to roll. Alright, the Ultimate Top Coat Gloss is obviously, it's very thick. So I have part A, part B, and I want to mix that thoroughly, and I want to make sure that I'm scraping off, get over here, I want to make sure that I'm scraping off my stick. There we go. Scraping off my stick periodically to make sure I don't have any unmixed product. So once I have that well mixed, I'm then going to add my water, and I should have a little larger cup. It's going to be difficult mixing 2.5 ounces of water. I may put this in a bigger cup. So you can see how thick that is. It's almost like a paste. So I'll get my water added in there. All right, I've got my water added in there. I've got it mixed up. And again, it's important to make sure you're scraping off your stick. You get all that unmixed material off your stick and make sure it's incorporated really well. I do have a paint roller that I'm going to use, and my paint roller, and I'm also using 6-inch mini rollers, and I have those de-shedded. And I have 3 rollers. I have 2 dry rollers and 1 wet roller, and that's just in case my dry roller becomes saturated. On this piece, that won't happen. But in case I hit the table with it, I always want to have one ready and have one prepared. All right, so I've got that mixed up thoroughly. All right, the thing I can't stress enough is how important it is to make sure that you get enough product on the surface. And make sure that you saturate your roller really well. Okay, got my roller well saturated. Now let's get her done. I do apply a bit of pressure as I'm adding with my wet roller, because I want to make sure that I have good coverage on the entire surface. Now I'm going to catch my edges right off the bat, because by going over the edges, it's going to put an impression in the roller. And so I want to do that now. Make sure that my edges are adequately and fully covered. You also want to make sure you roll under that bottom edge. Make sure you get your corners. And then I'm going to use my UTC to smooth my roller out. And this should be enough to get me over the entire surface. A little bit more. I think the number one problem I think that people have is not getting enough product on the surface. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to back roll one last time with my wet roller. And that's going to remove a lot of the heavy lap lines. And here's where you want to double check your edges. Make really certain that your edges have full coverage on them. It's easy to not fully cover those edges, and then when you get done and you look closely, you might see some shiny spots. So after I got done back rolling one last time with my wet roller, I'm going back over those edges one last time to make sure they're fully coated. Then I'm ready to grab the dry roller, and boy, we're about wrapped up. Now, as I start dry rolling, I'm going to be using I'm not going to be using any pressure whatsoever. Just the weight of the roller is all I'm using. And as you can see, I'm going over it very, very lightly. And yes, you are going to see some very, very faint lap lines. So it's really important when I back rolled one last time with my wet roller, I took out the heavy lap lines and the heavy roller marks. And now I'm just going over with my dry roller, which is just picking up a very little bit of material and smoothing it over one last time. I'm going to roll it one time. I'm going to dry roll my edges, and then I'm going to be done. What you're going to see next is a time lapse. This is a 15-minute time lapse down to about 15 seconds that's going to show you how that UTC gloss completely dries clear with 0 lap lines and 0 roller marks and turned out absolutely flawless. There you can see it's completely drying out, and that was over a 15-minute period. Looked absolutely amazing. So we'll do one last flyover. I moved my table up against the wall so there wouldn't be so much glare from my LED lights. But this is the next day after the UTC has completely dried out. It looks absolutely fabulous. Turned out amazing. I love the UTC product. I really do. Ultimate Top Coat is fantastic. I primarily use the UTC Natural or the matte finish, but anybody that has any struggles with it, please let me know. Please hit me up. Let me know what I can do to help. Again, I absolutely love the product. Thanks everybody for watching. Once again, this is Keith McGinnis with KCDC Designs out of Eagle, Nebraska. Please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate your support, and we will see you on the next video. Take care, y'all.